to our channel. We are students from University of Goroka in Papua New Guinea.
We are standing together to address a serious issue that affects our schools, the government system, and private companies in Papua New Guinea: bribery and cheating. Bribery and cheating are forms of corruption that weakens our system, reduces fairness, and hold back our country's progress. They damage the trust, reward dishonesty, and create unfair advantages for those who misuse power or influence. As students and concerned citizens of this beautiful nation, we think that it's time we need to speak. In this video, we will each look at how bribery and cheating are affecting different sectors in our country and how these actions are stealing opportunities, trust, and development from the poor people. Mr. Sitayamula alongside my colleagues. This is Esther Cecilia. We'll talk about how bribery and cheating are happening in schools. And this is Robin Cap. We'll discuss the effects of bribery in the government sector. This is Fuana Gonian. He will talk about the effects of bribery in private company sector. Finally is Joy Walam. She will summarize the main points and a conclusion. So stay with us as we uncover real stories and discuss what we can do to stop the cycle.
Today we want to address two behavioral issues affecting our school, our university, and our nation: bribery and cheating. These unethical practices don't just harm individuals, but they undermine the integrity of our education system and threaten the future of Papua. As students, we believe it's time to speak up because these practices don't just affect individuals' lives. They damage our national development, our future workforce, and the trust people place in our institutions.
Bribery and cheating in government have far-reaching consequences on public trust, service deliveries, and national development. When officials accept bribes to bypass rules, avoid contracts, or provide services unfairly, public resources misused and diverted from essential needs like health, education, and infrastructure. Cheating in form of falsifying reports or inflating budgets leads to corruption and inefficiency. Citizens lose confidence in their leadership and institutions, and this weakens democracy and the rule of law. Ultimately, bribery and cheating in government in the progress promote inequality and damage the integrity of public administration. However, it is not too late. Who says our beautiful country is dying? The real problem lies with the general attitude and behaviors of our citizens, including our parliamentarians. These are the strategies that can mitigate the progress of bribery and cheating in the government sector. In government sector, the fight against bribery requires strong anti-corruption laws, regular audits, and transparent public reporting systems. Digital systems for service delivery and budgeting reduce human contact and limit opportunities for corruption. With independent anti-corruption bodies and public access to information strengthen our citizen engagement.
Let's be clear about what we mean. Bribery in education is when someone offers money, gifts, or favors to gain an unfair academic advantage, like getting higher marks or passing subject they fail. Meanwhile, cheating involves dishonest activities like copying during exams, submitting work isn't yours, or using unauthorized notes or devices.
It may look small, but the effects are massive, and sadly, it is becoming too normal. And also, mismanagement of time. For instance, ensuring staff clock in very late and clock out very early, which is a form of corruption as they cheat against time.
Bribery and cheating in schools have serious negative impacts on students, teachers, and the overall education system. When students offer bribes for better grades or leak exams,
It undermines academic honesty and fairness. Hardworking students are discouraged as dishonest ones are unfairly rewarded. Teachers may lose their professional integrity and the trust of the community over time. Schools produce graduates who lack genuine knowledge and the skills which affect their future careers and the country's human resource development. The overall credibility of the education system declines and society begins to accept corruption as normal, perpetuating a cycle of dishonesty and inequality.
Why is cheating and bribery happen in schools? Some of the reasons might be pressure to pass, pressure from family, pressure to succeed in a system that sometimes feels too hard. Others lack confidence or preparation. When they feel like they can't do it honestly, they look for shortcuts.
Let's not forget the wider culture of corruption in PNG. It is not just happening in universities, it's happening everywhere, from higher institutions to primary and secondary schools. The idea of using connections, favors, or money to get ahead is becoming dangerously normal. In some cases, it begins in the classroom, where students learn to cheat without consequences. Then it stretches into universities where bribery might buy a passing grade. But it doesn't end there. We see it in public offices where services are delayed unless money changes hands. And even in our national parliament, where decisions affecting millions are sometimes influenced by hidden agendas or personal gain. When corruption is visible at every level, from the classroom to the highest seats of leadership, it teaches the next generation that this is just how things work. But that mindset is dangerous. Some effective strategies to reduce bribery and cheating in schools: strengthen institutional policies, establish and enforce clear academic integrity policies, include strict penalties for cheating and bribery, consistently applied across all levels. Develop anonymous reporting systems for students and staff. Promote ethical education. Integrate ethics and values education into the school's curriculum. Use real-life case studies to teach about the dangers of corruption. Support students academically and emotionally. Provide academic support services like tutoring or study groups. Offer counseling services to help students manage stress or pressures. Train teachers to recognize and assist students who are struggling. Increase transparency. Use transparent grading systems and digital tools where possible to reduce manipulation. Make exams and result processes more open and supervised. Rotate invigilators and use multiple markers for important assessment. Encourage students' leadership from integrity clubs or peer monitoring groups to promote honesty. Let students leaders take part in awareness campaigns and integrity drives. Encourage students to pledge to uphold academic honesty. Another strategy is encourage parents and the community. All awareness sessions with parents about the impact of bribery and cheating. Partner with local organizations and churches to reinforce moral values. Community involvement in supporting transparent education. And the last strategy is use behavioral development theory, social learning theory. According to Bandira's social learning theory, students learn by observing others, modeling integrity through staff behaviors, and reward honesty publicly. positive peer influence to create a culture of academic honesty. Here are some recommendations to reduce bribery and cheating in PNG educational systems. Strengthen academic integrity policy, develop support system, integrate integrity education in curriculum, utilize technology to promote transparency, promote ethical role models, create student-led integrity movements, community and parental engagement, collaborate with national anti-corruption bodies.
If we want to build a better PNG, we must break the cycle. And that starts with us, here in our schools and universities.
Bribery and cheating in the business sector around the country. Bribery and cheating in our country, especially in business sector, create more obstacles to fair competition, economic growth, and public trust. In many cases, business, especially SME, faces delays or pressure to pay bribe and cheat to access essential services like registration and contracts. Bribe and cheating allows certain businesses to get unfair advantages, influencing decision making and weakening transparency in public procurement. Furthermore, it harms businesses, drain taxpayer funds, reduces the efficiency of government services, and discourages investment. It leads to inflated project costs, substance infrastructure, and lack of accountability among businesses. Many businesses in our countries secure government contracts by bypassing formal regulation and process through bribery and cheating. To combat this issue around our country, we must strengthen anti-corruption laws and enhance enforcement efforts. This means engaging institutions like Independent Commission Against Corruption to investigate such cases effectively. Meanwhile, promoting ethical leadership and corporate government is equally important. Businesses and government agencies must prioritize integrity by conducting regular audits, assessing risks, and fostering culture of transparency. Addressing root causes of bribery and cheating will also help business to success. How can we solve this issue or problem? Yeah, we can perfectly solve this issue by implementing strong legal framework, internal controls, transparency, and culture of integrity. Business must implement clear anti-bribery policy, conduct due diligence on partner, and establish whistleblower protection. Companies and businesses should actively support ethical conduct through training programs and public avoidance of bribery and cheating. Companies have to collaborate with government agencies and civil society to tolerate bribery and cheating, ensuring a fair and sustainable business environment. Effect of bribery on our schools. Bribery in our schools has far reached its peak. Some of the impact might be unfairness in education and employment opportunities, lower graduates' quality and workplace incompetence, damage to trust, institution, and leadership in our country, and it's weaken our national values and ethics.
Bribery in schools, government, and the business sector as understand and damaging events. It destroys fairness in education, weakens public trust in leadership, and corrupts the integrity of business practices. When corruption is allowed to thrive, it discourages hard work, promotes inequality, and undermines national development. Combating bribery requires a united effort through strict enforcement of laws, transparent systems, and education that builds a culture of honesty and accountability across all levels of society.
We can stand for change. It starts with integrity, the choice to do the right thing, even when no one is watching. What can we do? Start with awareness, create safe spaces to discuss, academic pressure, build student-led integrity clubs, encourage peer support, and most importantly, enforce the rules fairly and consistently. Using the behaviorist theory of learning, we can shape honest behavior through positive reinforcement like recognizing academic honesty and rewarding ethical decision making. Let's be clear, your grade doesn't define your worth, but how you earn it shows your character.
By addressing these issues, we create a stronger, fairer, and more prosperous future of our nation, Papua New Guinea.
Bribery and cheating may seem like easy solution, but they destroy our future.
We have defined these issues, explaining why it happens and said how we can fix it.
Now it is our turn to have.
Let's restore dignity in our university.
Together we can build a better Papua New Guinea.
Say no to bribery, say no to cheating, and say yes to integrity.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, because change begins with awareness. We hope this video encourages everyone to take a stand against corruption in all its forms.